Welcome, my friends of the interwebs. This is going to be another update on my gas wells in southeast Kentucky, the Target oil and gas scandal, if you will, debacle. Some of you might recognize this wellhead, although it's changed a little bit, but it was the well that came in at 4.2 million cubic feet of natural gas a day. It was described as a biggin, a biggin, and it should this well should be paying me a whole lot of money every month. I should get a big old fat royalty check, but unfortunately, thanks to literally the criminal acts of Target Oil and Gas and their president Mike Smith and their president or vice president Christopher Smith, and the whole lot of them. Thanks to them, that is not the case. I do not receive any royalty payments on this gas well, or do I receive royalty payments on the other two gas wells that I have on my property. So anyway, just a quick update. Since Target Oil and Gas, since their leadership are all in prison, what happened was I had to take the company itself to court to break my lease with them. And, you know, it was interesting because, you know, there's a whole story behind it. But when this well came in so big, Mike Smith, who had very little to do with it actually coming in really big, I had more to do with it than he did. But Mike Smith had to, at the time we didn't know, but he had to play, I guess, he had to play the part. And so he made a big production about it, blah, blah, blah. But the whole time, what he was doing was sabotaging the well. And I'll get to that in just a second here. I always wondered how the well fell down like it did. I mean, it came in so huge, and all of a sudden it just started petering out. And I remember Mike Smith telling me that he wasn't producing it at the 4.2 million cubic feet a day because he didn't want to blow, didn't want to blow the infrastructure out. It was all new, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, after they got convicted and after we went to court to get our lease broke with them, we went to the business of trying to find out. When I say we, I'm talking about me and two of my cousins, my cousin Tim and my cousin Mike. We decided that we would try to figure out what was going on with this well, why it was no longer producing. Because you couldn't believe anything that Mike Smith said. Yeah, I mean, he was just a notorious liar. Well, criminal, convict. So we paid a service company to come out. We spent $30,000 to figure out exactly how, or exactly what the deal was with this well. Well, what had happened was, now understand that Mike Smith was not in the business of being a successful oil and gas man. He was in the business of duping investors out of their money, drilling dry holes, and moving on. In fact, if you Google when dry holes mean big money, you'll see where the Lexington Herald Leader, the newspaper in Lexington, Kentucky, actually interviewed me, and you can read all about it. But anyway, he had two sets of investors, so he needed to figure out a way to kill this well, but yet make it look like he didn't have did nothing to do with it. So what he did was he didn't cement the casing, and that's what the service crew ended up telling us. We bailed the well, the whole 9 yards, only to find out that he had never cemented the casing in, so that let water flood the well and then flood the formation. Gas and oil comes from a shale formation. And so what happened was the water went down there and it flooded it, and it destroyed that formation because the natural frac that was there, basically the water made the shale swell and it shut off the frac. That's exactly how that went down. So $30,000 of my money later, only to find out that's how he killed the well. It was important for him to kill this well because he couldn't pay. You got to remember, he sold the entire well, okay, to two different sets of investors. That's like selling a pie, an apple pie, to two different people, both people expecting to eat that apple pie. At some point, you gotta make that apple pie go away and make those investors feel like that it was just their bad luck, as opposed to you never had a pie to begin with. But anyway, so that's kind of an update. I know it sounds a little complicated. It really isn't probably as complicated as I make it sound, but the truth is, the biggest reason that Mike Smith got 10 years was because of this well and several other wells, but because of the kind of things that he did with this well. If he would have just spent the energy, if he would have had, I'll tell you what, honestly, if he would have spent half the energy that he spent on being a crook as being into being an honest man, he would have been a hell of a successful guy. To be honest with you, this is the kind of well that he could have been proud of, and all the investors could have made money, but he didn't go down that road. He went down the road to lie, deceit, steal, cheat. Well, you know, he's serving his time, so whatever. Hopefully he's getting some fine prison loving. Hopefully that's what's going on. So anyway, that's one of the updates. I've got 2 other wells. There's no sense in showing you the other 2. None of them are doing anything. It is what it is. You know, I feel bad for the investors of this well, but if any of them run into this, contact me. Maybe we can put some money together and try to get this thing straightened out. Well, the service crew told me that if we drilled an offset well, that might work if we could drill into the same formation. The only risk, well, I shouldn't say the only risk, the downside to that is we don't know how much of that water has ruined how much of that shale down there. You know, an offset well, I mean, I don't know that we could move the well 10 feet and be successful. I don't know if we could move it 100 feet and be successful. I just don't know. And you're talking about a lot of money to take that chance. So, I mean, I spent $30,000 in a weekend just to figure out what Mike Smith had done to fuck me. So, anyway, that's it. By the way, if you guys get a call from any company wanting to sell you oil and gas ventures, you know, how would you like to own your own oil well? You know, if you get that call, do yourself a favor and just hang up. Just hang up the phone, because chances are extremely likely that that is a con artist company who acts like they're drilling wells but are really just drilling into your wallet, sucking the money out. Anyway, that's it. I'll talk to y'all later. See ya!